We're going to begin, though, with the start of the something that makes this country so great when it happens. We're talking about the promise of a peaceful transfer of power. In a concession speech by Vice President Kamala Harris, her tone was more, well, you could say defiant than defeated, as she told her supporters and students at her alma mater of Howard University not to give up the fight for opportunity, fairness, and the dignity of all people, and saying this is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. Ed O'Keefe was watching, and he joins us now with the latest. Ed, good morning to you.
Nate, Jack, Kirby, good to see you. Good morning. After Vice President Harris ended her history-making campaign with a phone call to President-elect Trump, she told supporters that while her campaign has ended, her public future has not.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Vice President Kamala Harris urged supporters to accept the election results and said she intends to help President-elect Donald Trump prepare for a second term.
We will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Trump won all 5 contested battleground states CBS News has called so far and could pick up the final 2, Arizona and Nevada, once all votes are counted. He broadened his coalition from 4 years ago in nearly every state with almost every major demographic group, like Latino men, despite vows to begin deporting millions of undocumented immigrants on day one.
In our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States.
CBS News exit polling found 97% of voters who voted for Harris would feel scared, not just concerned, if she didn't win.
I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service.
In a statement on X, former President Barack Obama wrote, "This is obviously not the outcome we had hoped for," but congratulated Trump on his victory. And Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders rebuked Democrats, saying it should come as no surprise that a party that abandoned working-class people would find that the working class has abandoned them.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. You have power, and don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before.
For now, Vice President Harris is headed back to Washington. Well, she's in Washington, but she's headed back to work.
Yeah.
She and President Biden have 74 days left in their term. The current president plans to address the nation later today and has invited President-elect Trump to the White House. The Trump team says the meeting will take place shortly.
I know, Ed, there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, but many Democrats woke up yesterday thinking, what went wrong? What are they saying?
Well, I think that where Senator Sanders is headed is probably where a lot of Democrats are going. The idea that working-class people in this country of all stripes now feel abandoned or at least not listened to sufficiently by the Democratic Party. So that's going to be a big part of the conversation. Were we sufficiently feeling the pain that voters say they're still feeling, despite data that suggests that unemployment is down and inflation's on the right track? For some reason, Americans just still aren't feeling it, and that's something they're going to have to address. I think more broadly, there's questions of whether President Biden got out fast enough. Should he have run at all? Remember, 4 years ago, he told the country he'd be a transitional figure, then he did nothing but, and left Harris only 107 days to sort it out. And I noticed a lot of her supporters and people who'd been working for her saying, well, look, we did the best we could in the 107 days we had, which is a way of saying if we'd had more time,
more runway,
maybe
get
we
this plane off the ground.
Exactly.
Sure seems like there are a lot of lessons there.
Yep.
Yeah. Ed, thank you very much. Great job on election night as well. And Ed, by the way, Ed is a good Starbucks name.
It usually
Two
works.
letters, it works.
It's
They
very
can spell
simple.
that. It works. All right.